Good day, sir. Good day, cadets. We are the Group 3, and we are going to tackle about procedures in designing a predetermined route plan using table and validate. So the repertoire of this group: first, yours truly, the Cadet Masbang Rose Marnigay; second, the Cadet Pahang Vince Marian; third, the Cadet Pagayon Imjun; the Cadet Mates Janmark; the Cadet Lucero Daniel; the Cadet Omali Godfrey Faro; the Cadet Umungos Jill Leandri; the Cadet Padayaw John Hendricks; the Cadet Mishona Alinan; the Cadet Laurino Peter Chan. For the learning objective, to determine procedures in designing a predetermined route plan using table and validate. For the first repertoire, good day, sir. This is Cadet Masbang, the first speaker. A voyage plan or passage plan is a comprehensive berth-to-berth guide developed and used by a vessel's bridge team to determine the most favorable route, to identify potential problems or hazards along the route, and to adopt bridge management practices to ensure the vessel's safe passage. We have the principle of passage planning, and it is to develop a comprehensive navigational plan, a very thorough risk assessment for the safe conduct of the ship from berth to berth, to ensure that the bridge management is fully aware of the vessel intended voyage and of the contingency plan. Passage plan has 4 stages. Each stage follows each other logically. First, appraisal; second, planning; third, execution; and fourth, monitoring. First, appraisal. Collecting and assessing all relevant information required for the intended passage. In other words, an appraisal is gathering and evaluating all pertinent data needed for the desired passage. Second, planning. Developing and approving a passage plan based on the outcome of the appraisal of all relevant information. So planning is all about creating and approving a passage strategy based on the findings of the evaluation of all pertinent data. Third, execution. Briefing the bridge team on the passage plan, navigating the ship in accordance with the passage plan. So therefore, execution is presenting the passage plan to the bridge team, following the passage plan as you navigate the ship. And last but not the least, or fourth, monitoring. Checking the passage progress of the ship against the passage plan. In simple words, monitoring is comparing the ship's progress to the route plan.
Appraisal. This is where we apply the time-old principle, begin with the end in mind, and decide if the passage is even viable before we spend hours planning and come to the realization that is not. Here are a few points that form the basis for your appraisal phase. First, start with measuring the distance from start to finish and estimating how long it would take. This will be a strong indicator of the scope of the trip and will help evaluate fuel, water, provisions or food, spares, and any other need. Second, evaluate your vessel and crew. If we have only 2 of us, is it prudent to do several overnights in a row, or is everyone capable of standing a night watch? Will we have depth or draft concerns? Is the vessel and crew equipped or capable to go offshore? Third, factor in seasonal weather considerations such as particular foggy moments or areas, prevailing winds, regional weather system or anomalies, and tropical storm season. Fourth, anticipate dangers. This will range from shallow waters, reefs, heavily transited shipping lanes to an avoid at all cost seafood restaurant. 6. Be aware of the limitations of your navigation system, such as electronic chart plotters are only accurate as the GPS into provided. Are your users competent on the equipment? Are there any errors on your steering electronic compass? All of these factors have a large impact on your ability to navigate safely. Lastly, factors in seasonal weather considerations such as particular foggy moments or areas, prevailing winds, regional weather systems or anomalies, and tropical storms seasons.
Factor needed to be considered. First, RENC or Electronic Navigational Chart appropriate scale up to date. Next, Is Admiralty Information Overlay available? Next, do any T&P notices apply? Next, ENC Safety Information README file. Next, NTM's Weekly. Next, Nautical Publication. And lastly, consider limitation of ENC accuracy and source data.
Planning. Plan. This is where we get to the nuts and bolts of the passage plan, so take into consideration of the following. First, your plan needs to be from berth to berth. This will require pilotage plans. Pilotage plans detail the port of departure and arrival. Your plan should note and include tides, current, dangers, and voyage, marina location, and any special port considerations. Busy commercial port with lots of traffic. This information is normally found in cruising guides or pilot books and almanacs. Second, it is your departure based around an event like Tidal Gate or Hell's Gate and NY. Tidal gates or tidal heights at your departure or arrival port is the destination point, a day entry only, or what time does the fuel dock close. You might need to plan your voyage around these factors. Third, do you have up-to-date or recent paper charts? Or do you have something that resembles Sanskrit or papyrus? Cruising guiders and tide tables. Do our charts have enough detail to make approaches at our destination? Also, don't forget to check if you are use a chart plotter that has full coverage in that area and has chips that are recently updated. Navigational dangers en route can be noted in a voyage plan book, has notes on proposed trip, or can be marked off on the chart for watchkeepers to be aware of. Prepare a contingency plan in incorporation of a port of refuge or an anchorage is a key in case of bad weather or breakdowns. Have a pilotage plan for these ports or anchorages. Give rough overview of the vessel. Passage plan include details to shore contact, like family members and etc. So any delayed arrival can be passed on to the Coast Guard or any other relevant authorities.
Monitoring. This final part is where all the planning in the world will be for naught. If you don't maintain a good watch and monitor our position, whether you are using an electronic chart plotter or more traditional means, you should record your position on a chart and in a logbook at intervals specified by the captain. Do not rely solely on automatic alarms. A prudent navigator should always seek to prove the act is wrong, rather than assuming it is correct. Use tools such as Weather Overlay or RIO to assist with monitoring. An accurate RIO provides a million-point fix and allows excellent real-time monitoring, but do not rely solely upon it. Normal radar limitations still apply. Do not rely solely on GNSS inputs such as GPS. Cross-check frequently with other systems such as Lurancy and manual means such as visual or radar fixing. Ensure that appropriate display settings are applied for coastal or ocean and day and night navigation. Use profiles if the functionality exists.
There are 7 procedures in designing a predefined route plan. The number 1 is route. First, we need to find the information from all the publications available. And once we have the information, we need to use that to decode the route. Number 2, route check. We need to make sure that the route that we have drawn is not passing through any dangers. But before we do that, we need to set the safety settings to connect this according to our draft for the next voyage. Number 3, parallel indexing. Parallel index distances must be marked from the fixed objects on the route. In the open sea, it is wise to choose any fixed object up to range of 24 miles or less for marking the parallel index lines. Number 4, no 60 areas. We are required to mark the no-go areas along our route. These are the areas that are the danger to navigation and we must not navigate into. But let us say that there is a wreck from about 50 nautical miles. Number 5. Wheel over position. Whenever there is a large alteration of the course, we need to mark a wheel over position. This is the position on our initial course at which we need to start altering the course at a pre-planned rate of turn to arrive at next desired course without running into danger. 6. Abort point and point of no return. The abort point is the point after which there is insufficient room to turn back. While entering a port, if we try to swing back after we have passed the abort point, we may end up grounding the vessel, or we may end up hitting a danger mark. Number 7. Position plotting interval is the maximum interval between two position fixes. So if in a particular section of the passage, we have agreed to the PFI of 01 hours, we must plot the ship's position at least every hour. During the passage planning, we need to decide the position plotting interval and methods. So that's all the 7 procedures in designing a predefined route plan.
The waypoint is created by the graphical editor would most likely be up to 3 decimal places for ease of reference. You may want to change this waypoint up to 1 decimal place. Waypoint is an intermediate point or place on a route of line of travel, a stepping point or point at which course is changed. Then it is just like drawing a route on the paper chart. Take the cursor on the starting point and keep on clicking wherever you wish to create a waypoint. First, using the mark waypoint K, then using the chart. Press the waypoint K to create a mark hold. It creates a waypoint. You can use this K in any screens for making your current position. The waypoint can be edited or moved. So, if you are receiving a valid depth and the water temperature at the time of the waypoint, and if you want to move the waypoint, select position, you can enter coordinates, use chart, use current location, or enter range bearing. So, use the arrow key to move your position, press select to confirm waypoint, and option will show. So, next is the waypoint, creating more waypoint. So, in creating more waypoint, for add a new waypoint in the main menu, select endpoint, you will see a screen with 2 options for create waypoints or routes. Tap on add waypoints, you'll see a screen with map and latitude and longitude. Waypoints begin with the current position. To move it, click the green rectangle and select move. After click on the map, would you like to insert the waypoint? You can write the coordinates into the text box to latitude and longitude. After that, the map will be updated. Use the arrow key to move your position, press select to confirm, and more waypoint option will show. So, the last one, the smaller scale. Small scale chart shows overall details such as light vessels, light floats, land buoys, territorial waters, and land separating adjoining countries. Obstructions, shoals, reef, buoys, and fog signals, as the name suggests, they represent a vast stretch of an area of a small scale, thus representing macroscopic features of the same. There are small scale charts for the Pacific Ocean, South China Sea, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Caribbean Sea. These charts are preferred usually as a reference chart for planning routes and plotting courses, and from there our courses could be transferred to a large-scale charts. They are best suited to provide a general overview of passage. So that's all, and thank you.
After assessing the information, modify the route if required. Otherwise, check the next error. After checking each error, click on that error and click disregard. After you have checked all errors, click on OK and save the route. You have now completed the route check. Step 3. Parallel indexing. To mark the parallel index lines we use user map feature of the ECDES. Go to user map editor. Click on new simple line and then take the cursor to the point, the landmark, from where you want to draw the parallel index line. Draw the first line parallel to the course line and then 90 degrees to join it to the course line.
You can then click on the property on the right corner and change the line color and thickness, etc. It is better to have the color of the PI line something other than the course line so that the line is easily being recognized during the voyage by the navigators. Now we need to write the parallel index distance for the PI that we have drawn just now. Click on New Small Text. Click at the location near the PI line where you want the text to appear, then write the text such as P.I 3.2 nautical miles. You can then click on OK and then save on the top menu. Just enter the name that you want to give this user map, maybe the voyage number, and then click on Save to save the user map. This same user map will be edited for all other markings that you need to plot on the ENCS.
After monitoring tab, click Voyage Planning tab and then click the Edit option. Then next, click Print. Then after clicking Print, the validated data will be transferred at Excel. Then we have here our references. Passage planning route on ECDES, how to transfer a pre-made route from ECDES to the Admiralty Digital Catalog or ADC. And then route planning with ECDES, and then brilliant passage planning. So that is all for our presentation from Group 3. Thank you for watching.